What's going on, guys? It's Della here and welcome to another champion guide. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Skarner in the jungle. Now Skarner's been an up and coming champion for a while now. You guys may have noticed that he's being played way more in solo queue when he used to be extremely unpopular. Well, that's because of this. Now you may be wondering how he got here. Well, he's one of those champs that has received a bunch of small buffs while other champs received a bunch of nerfs. And over time, Skarner slowly but surely became flavor of the month. He has the #1 highest win rate in the jungle right now, so he's definitely a good champ to know for solo queue, and that's why I'm bringing you guys this video. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and let's get right into the guide. Let's talk about Skarner's basic abilities really quick before we go into the more in-depth details and mechanics. So the first thing you have to understand about him is his passive. It's really weird and not like other champions' passives. Basically, it'll spawn 6 little spires all around the map. If you capture these spires, while you're on them, you gain bonus movement speed, attack speed, and a lot of mana regeneration. Anyone can capture these, you, your allies, and even enemies. But if an enemy takes it, you won't gain these benefits. This is what makes his jungle clear so fast and his ganks so effective, because you can just breeze through the jungle by doing this.
You can even do the Gromp if you pull him far enough.
We'll talk more about that later. His Q deals damage in an area around him, but it deals more damage if you already hit something with it. And it also lowers the cooldown whenever you hit minions or a champion. Pretty simple. His W covers him in his shield, and while he's covered, he gets a huge movement speed bonus over 3 seconds. Combined with his Trinity Force, his Crystal Spires, and his W, you get a lot of movement speed, and that's how you're going to be ganking. His E is a ranged skill shot that marks someone with a slow. If you attack that champion or minion, it will stun them for 1 second and reduce the cooldown by a short time. Then there's his R, which is basically why people play Skarner. It'll suppress an enemy champion for 1.75 seconds, which means they can't use any summoner spells during this time, so it can't be cleansed at all. The reason Skarner works so well is because he fits into the popular tank meta right now. But unlike other tanky junglers like Rammus or Sejuani, Skarner has a lot of in-fight mobility and damage, which makes him an excellent duelist and counter jungler. Here are the runes and masteries you're going to want to use. I take 10% cooldown reduction in the glyphs so that at level 18 I have max CDR. I pretty much use these every game and I wouldn't change these. Now, like I always say, your build should be specific to your game. There's no cookie cutter build I can provide you with that's going to work every single game. Your build should work accordingly to what your team needs and what counters the enemy team. Regardless, here's what your build should look like in a general sense. If your team is really far ahead, I would finish the Trinity Force before going Cinderhulk. Some people like to get the Warrior enchantment, but I think Cinderhulk is better in the late game. And with Trinity Force, I don't think he really needs the extra damage, as it scales really well with his abilities. Because of Skarner's kit, you generally want to spend a lot of time in the enemy jungle, counter jungling and trying to pick off an enemy. This is because if you control his spires well, you can keep track of the enemy jungler really well. Now, although spires don't give you permanent vision, you can still see if they're being captured through Fog of War. You can use this mechanic to track where enemy junglers are, and if you have really good map awareness, you can often pick them out or counter jungle the other side of the jungle where you know they aren't. So it's always good to keep track of what spires you have captured and what spires the enemy have captured so you know where they are. Most of the time, if you fight someone on a spire controlled by you, chances are you're gonna win. So it's really important to take control of spires if you know there's gonna be a team fight in the area. Now let's quickly talk about Skarner's jungle clear. Aside from spending a lot of time in the enemy jungle, you basically want to clear your entire jungle except for Krugs. This is because Krugs are the only monsters that you cannot clear on spired ground. There's absolutely no way to drag them over, unlike the Gromp. So if you've cleared most of your jungle, you should just head over to the enemy jungler and start taking control of spires. Now that you know his jungle path, let's talk about a few tips and tricks with Skarner. Now his tooltip won't mention it, but his E actually slows down its projectile speed for each additional target that it hits, so you want to make sure to use it when it counts. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you grab someone with your ultimate, you can't basic attack them or use your E to follow up with a stun, but you can use your Q and your W, meaning that if you have a Trinity Force and you use your Q while you're pulling someone, you'll get bonus movement speed from the phage component of your Trinity Force, which can help you a lot when dragging an enemy into your team. Alright guys, now you know how to build Skarner and you know the tips and tricks that will put you above your opponents that will help you climb the solo queue ladder. I hope this guide has helped you, and if it did, please feel free to leave a like, and if you'd like to see something like this in the future, feel free to subscribe. If you have any suggestions for me, please leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to read them. Oh, and regarding the giveaway, 2 of the people actually didn't respond for the $25 and $50 RP prizes, so I'll be picking new winners for my next video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the first video I uploaded and it'll give you some context. Alright guys, once again, thank you for watching. This is Adela, and I'll see you guys in the next video.